What's good, guys? LM7 here, back with another review. This time we're back in 2025, taking a look at a slightly older set, Ahsoka Tano's Jedi Interceptor. All right. So, ages 8 plus, 75401, Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor, 290 pieces. You get 3 minifigures, and obviously the Starfighter itself. This is towards the very end of the Clone Wars, obviously because we're using the Jedi Interceptor instead of the Jedi Starfighter, the Actis-class Interceptor here. But we still got our Clone Wars logo on there, so obviously we don't see Ahsoka in Episode 3. Back of the box, nothing too crazy. Just shows some battle indiscriminately. Kind of gives me Dathomir vibes, but it could be literally anywhere. Because I think we see her as fighter actually like 1 or 2 times total overall. All right. So, what is the price? Not good on this one, unfortunately. This is kind of like the downfall of Star Wars sets for 25. It's a cool ship, and I'm glad that we're making like starfighters that we actually haven't seen yet. You know, we have Ahsoka's, regular starfighter, the Delta 7B, but we never saw this version, and I'm glad we got this instead of another Anakin version or, Obi-Wan or anything like that. But and it uses a different piece. They built the cockpit different than they've been doing ever for any of these starfighters. But then they also increased the price of Jedi starfighters, and I think 45 is ridiculous for not even 300 pieces, and it's just a starfighter that we've gotten a million times. We've gotten the same starfighter for $20, so it being 45 now is crazy. So yeah, 45 in the US and 60 in Canada. It's not great, but we'll look at the set and we'll move on from there. They give you this full-size instruction booklet for some reason. For whatever. I don't know. They've definitely shrunk the size of instruction booklets, but this one did not follow the trend there. So while you're building along, you do have little Ahsoka guiding you along the way. And take a quick look at the other sets that came out in that little mini wave. Basically, the only one that matters is the ARC 170. 80 pages, so it's your classic Jedi Starfighter build. Hour or less, depending on your skill level. You shouldn't need a break or anything like that. And it's similar to all the other ones, obviously, because they're all basically identical. This one has a few new things here and there. Like I said, the cockpit is different, and we'll look at that in a minute. All right, so with this new price tag, do the minifigures at least hold up to the crazy increase? So you get Ahsoka's astromech droid, and I don't actually know his name, R7A7. So first time we ever get him. I like the dark red body and the green highlights. I think that's fun. I'm surprised there isn't any green highlights on the ship itself, but whatever. Anyway, he's kind of cool. No back printing, kind of a bummer. But not all astromech droids have it. And then, just your standard build that they've been using since, the early 2000s. But overall, nice to get an actual new astromech droid. That's always cool. For some reason, we get a new Anakin Skywalker with slightly different printing. I'm not sure why Anakin's even in this set. I guess to justify the $45. He does have 2 faces. And he comes with his standard blue lightsaber. I don't know. Sometimes they throw in random dudes, but usually it's like an enemy character, so you have some play feature. So I'm not sure why Anakin is in there, but whatever. Another Anakin. So the highlight of the set obviously is teenage Ahsoka Tano. She has the newer short bendable legs, which makes her a little more accurate than some of the older Clone Wars sets where she has the full size legs and as tall as Anakin. But I like the printing on this. I like the little pink belt we got going on. Back printing isn't anything too crazy, but that is okay. The head tentacles look pretty good. They got good printing on them this time, but the blue is a nice contrast. And, oh, I popped her whole head off there. Oh, I wonder. Ooh, I can't actually get the head off. Unsure if she has a second-sided face, to be honest. Oh, there we go. Okay, I did get it off. It was really stuck on there. Yes, she does have dual-sided face. I haven't taken this apart since I built it, so there's that. Anyway, sorry for the rambling there. I wasn't expecting the headpiece to give me such problems. So she does also get her 2 lightsabers, and that is our first feature of the Starfighter itself. They do give you clips, which is always my favorite thing, that you can put the Starfighter on. All right. So the Starfighter itself, good shape. You know, it from what I remember, it was about the same build in terms of like fun and everything. You build the cockpit first, and then you build each wing, 3 bags, I think. Nothing too spectacular or anything there. I like these little inline blasters we have going on there, recessed. I think that's a nice little touch to a newer versions. And like I said, the cockpit is built different. This is a different piece than they usually use. They've used it for several things nowadays, but you know, the big bulky one that they used to use for all the other ones. Minimal engine detailing, but these don't have crazy big engines or anything spectacular going on with that. This is a nice printed piece, and I've seen use this set for many different mocks. Main feature, obviously, is you open it up, and it's actually pretty open and spacious, which I like, because sometimes smaller ships are harder to access if you have bigger hands or whatever, or you're a little clumsy. But Ahsoka does fit in there. They did take into account her head piece, so she fits in nicely. Sticker right there, though, unfortunately. There are a couple stickers. They always make these stickers, these pieces here. But they have dual-sided, which is a bummer and a curse, because I like the additional detail of having the sticker on each side, but maybe if this side was printed, I guess. And then, just like all Jedi Starfighters, these little wings open, and they've been doing this for basically ever. Nothing too crazy. And there's your full Jedi Starfighter wings open. I don't know. It's sleeker than all the other designs, but not terribly much so. Like, there isn't any crazy new pieces other than the cockpit to, like, make this ship more accurate. And little R7 here, he gets a spot, as they always do. This time you don't have to take him apart. He fits in the wing, and there we go. I like this piece right here, this newer wedge, longer slope wedge piece. Sucks that you got to put a sticker on it, but I do like how it frames the front. Makes it very sleek looking. So really our last feature is if you flip it over, and you saw it at the beginning, it has flick-fire missiles. Shooties, we love them, or not. I don't really like them myself, but they're good for playability. So let's wrap it up. What do we think? The ship itself is nice. You know, three minifigures, you can't complain with that. We didn't need Anakin, but he's in there anyway. But I feel like he's just a bare minimum inclusion to try to justify the kind of ridiculous price point. 35 would have been all right. Maybe 40 you would have got squabbled at for charging 40, but $45 for this, pretty hard pass. So like I say with most of them, if you can find it on sale, that's where you should shoot for. If you got points on Lego.com, maybe if there's double points or triple points, or if the set itself goes on sale, it's over a year old now, so it could be on the chopping block soon enough. But it's the only time we've gotten this ship for Ahsoka, and it does have an exclusive minifigure, so you weigh those options. I'd wait for a deal personally. With that, I'll see you guys next time, and let me know what you guys think about this set.